No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
American Cupcake. American Cupcake. It's having fun. Just watch your cupcake run. Driving coast to coast. He's the man with the most. He's got no time to boast. His truck is Naomi, the big white whale. She's the one rock that will never fail. Across the country they both sail. He's American Cupcake. American Cupcake. He's having fun, just watch your cupcake run. He's American Cupcake. You know what else makes him great? He's been to all the lower 48 states. He's seen all 5 of the Great Lakes. He leaves all the others in his wake. This name's Cupcake, for God's sake. So you know damn sure he's not fake. Because he's American Cupcake. American Cupcake. He's having fun, just watch your cupcake run. He's American Cupcake.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing?
Yes, how are we doing? Good morning. Good morning. So we are not going to discuss anything but what we were going to discuss. And
I am looking forward to this. What is it? Pinkett? The
Mr.
Plinkett?
Mr. Plinkett has been around. It's from Red Letter Media. They're movie review guys. They got a channel on YouTube. Go check them out. They're fucking hilarious. It's Mike Stoklasa, Jay Bauman, and Rich Evans. So he started off. He's a big nerd. Mike Stoklasa, the voice of Mr. Plinkett. He's played Dungeons and Dragons. He's a big Star Trek guy. All of Star Trek he loves. You know, he loves the original Star Wars trilogy. And he started off by doing reviews on the Star Trek movies, the Next Generation movies, because they all suck. They're just horrible. And then
if we really truly think about it, mostly all the Star Trek movies suck.
Not the original series, not the ones with Kirk, Spock, and the stupid one. The stupid one was the 5th one where the Spock's brother and they meet God, who was.
Oh yes, that one was fucking horrendous. If memory serves me correct, is that where Ahura is dancing on top of a dude like a
yes,
naked?
Yes.
Oh my god, that one was so horrible.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like the original movie.
Maybe
when I saw it, I was really young, so maybe it was too far advanced for my brain.
Sure, it came out in 1979 after Star Wars, and it was trying to be science fiction like 2001: A Space Odyssey, but at that time people had already been sucked into Star Wars, so that's why it's actually a really, really good movie. It's really
Look,
good.
Man, I remember the first time I skipped school was to stay home and watch The Wrath of Khan.
My dad actually took me to go see the Wrath of Khan in the theater because he was a Star Wars fan back in Spain, and it was Ricardo Montalban, and so yeah, we went to go see that in the theater. My dad and I.
Yeah, I like I said, because at this time that happened, my parents were visiting Florida. We didn't live in Florida yet. They were visiting Florida and stuff like that. So I was staying with my stepfather's mom. She took me back home so I can go to school.
Okay.
So I'm home watching HBO and Star Trek 2 came on. And I never seen it. And I just got hooked in. And I just stayed there watching it. The next thing you know, I fell asleep after the movie. When I woke up, it was fucking afternoon.
The thing with the Wrath of Khan was that it was Khan and Kirk, they were never on screen together. They never that was really good. I mean, it was a great Star Trek movie if you were a fan of the original series because it had everything. I mean, it was really good. It was really good. But
I never really watched the original series, but I watched the movies.
The original
I like sci-fi. I enjoyed Star Wars. That was in space, so I'm like, oh, cool, space. Yeah, great.
Right. So the original series was hello, Happy Gosling. Nice to see you. Bo Beardington. Nice. My man. Bo Beardington, my man. Hell yeah. What's up? We got a celebrity in the chat. Shit.
You're welcome.
But the original series was one of two things. One, it was more of a horror show. Like it was, because they would go to these planets and then, it would be like horror, it would be like scary. And the reason why they had episodes where they went to a planet where it was World War II and they dressed as Nazis, or they went to the West and did this, or it was because they were on the Desilu, I believe it was Desilu Studios, the Paramount Studios, and they just had access to all these costumes, all these sound stages, so they were able to do all this really weird, cool stuff. The original series is good if you watch it. There is one episode where they go, I'm not sure if you're aware of Star Trek, the Prime Directive, where if a planet doesn't have warp drive, don't fuck with them, let them go. There was this one episode where this planet, it was a primitive planet, and they discovered Kirk and the whole guys. So then Captain Kirk reads them the Constitution of the United States so that they can become more civilized.
Hey, you're helping them. You're helping them evolve to advancement.
That's right. So, with all that being said, let us go.
1 of 7. Good Lord.
Well, they're only little 10-minute videos, so it's only 70 minutes long. But let's get into this real quick. So, you like the prequels, right?
I like all Star Wars.
Okay.
I am one that I like all Star Wars. I've read some books when Disney bought, like when they started the whole new shit.
Uh-huh.
I haven't read a lot of the comics.
Okay.
But I have mostly all of them.
Okay.
Then I see the connections here to what went what and all this and that. Like, I follow very few YouTube channels that really stick to.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
lore.
Ozone, like, I appreciate the question. We appreciate the question, but we had planned to do this stream well before any of that happened. We're not going to talk about that. We're just not going to talk about it. We may talk about it later in the week, but right now I'm just
not touching that subject.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. I'm sorry if that's what you came here for, but yeah, we're not even going to touch it.
We're being nerds here.
Exactly, dude. We're totally trying to nerd out, and we've planned on doing this for a long time. So
yeah, we really have. We've had this in the plan for over a year.
For sure, dude. So I appreciate it, but yeah, we're just not going to talk about it right now. Thank you, though.
Just stay for the nerd shit.
Right, and thank you for understanding, Ozone. We appreciate that a lot. So as far as we're about the same age, I'm going to be 50 this Friday. We're
literally, you're a year older than me.
Okay,
a year and a couple of months.
Okay, so perfect. So you were around when the Timothy Zahn novels came out, right? Dark Force Rising.
Just never read them.
Heir to the Empire. Okay,
I heard of them, never read them.
Okay, cool. I was excited when the and he'll get into it. He'll get into this. When the trailer came out for the Phantom Menace, and for years and years and years, there was just something that rubbed me wrong about it, and this explains it. So let's just get into it.
Let's go.
Let's just get into it.
Star Wars The Phantom Menace was the most disappointing thing since my son. I mean,
oh shit! God damn!
Yeah, right away it gets
the most disappointing thing, worse than my son. Wow! I don't care how bad my kid is, I would never say something like that.
So that absolutely gives you the tone of what this review is going to be about. So.
Holy shit. Okay.
Possibly fuck up the entire backstory to Star Wars. And while my son eventually hanged himself in the bathroom of the gas station, the unfortunate reality of the Star Wars prequels is that they'll be around forever. They will
But so will be
never
the memory
go
of your
away.
son.
There could never.
Obviously, that's not his son. I mean,
God damn.
so I don't know if you saw the thumbnail of that's you know what? Let me pull this up. Let me just
Thumbnail you made for this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just some random shit you made.
No, that's Mr. Plinkett.
Oh. Okay.
That's the character.
Again, I don't know why people, bro. This is how I got my woman into Star Wars. It's through the first three. And then she watched 4, 5, and 6, and she enjoyed them. It's just my issue with 4, 5, and 6 to today's standards is the special effects. That's it. It's just a special effect. Like, the special effects are a little boring. And then after you see them fighting here, like lightsaber battles and all this shit, and then you watch the old style fencing with 4, 5, and 6, it's like, what happened to all the flips and shit? What they do? But
He goes he's got 3 videos for Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. We'll watch all 3 of them. In the second one, he goes into the Force flippy dippy
bullshit.
Yeah.
But let's go.
Where's the pictures? Here they are.
And you never watched Clone Wars, huh?
No, I was a dad by that time, you know, so I was out of that kind of thing, you know.
So was I, and I still watched it.
So that's Mr. Plinkett.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Guy looks like Tubby McNulty.
Yeah, and he's got diabetes. That's why his foot's cut off. All right, back to the video.
Be undone. If you're someone who's under the age of like 20 who says his least favorite film in the series is The Empire Strikes Back because it was the most boringest one, then I suggest you shut this review off right now before I carefully explain how much of a fucking idiot you are. So where do I possibly start?
Fucking Jar Jar.
Nothing in The Phantom Menace makes any sense at all. It comes off like a script written by an 8-year-old. It's like George Lucas finished the script in one draft, like he turned it in and they decided to go with it without anyone saying that it made no sense at all or was a stupid, incoherent mess. I guess.
But I didn't find it incoherent. I think what fucked George Lucas in this aspect is that he directed all 3 movies.
Yeah.
If he would have just wrote them and had someone else direct, they probably would have been a little better.
Well, that's why Empire Strikes Back was so good, because Irvin Kershner, he did little itty bitty like art house movies, like the kind of movies I like, you know, like movie snob movies. And that's why the Empire Strikes Back was such a good movie. But yes, and he actually wanted Steven Spielberg to
direct.
Joey, go away, please. Seriously, dude. All right, Joey, we're doing something else. We're doing something not even related to you.
What are you talking about? Loyalty. This isn't okay, bro. Whatever.
Okay, Joey, thank you. So what was it? Oh yeah, so that's why he wanted. Oh, and I have this too. He wanted. You know who David Lynch is?
Yeah.
So George Lucas also wanted David Lynch to direct direct Return of the Jedi. Have you ever seen this?
Now, if you're playing the movie on a telephone.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, do I not have that? Fuck. Well, David Lynch goes into where George Lucas picked him up, and he showed me this thing called a Wookiee, and I had a headache at the time, and he was just going. You have to watch it. We'll watch it. We'll watch it on. I'll download it and we'll watch it when we do the Attack of the Clones one.
At this point, who's going to question George or tell him what to do?
I take it you say action after we roll camera.
I'll say
You do.
And that was another thing that I think the movie suffered from.
What?
He didn't want to take no one's advice and listen.
He's George Lucas.
Again, George Lucas, you're great, but you have to. You can't have a bunch of yes men around you. I've always felt that.
And that is a point that is made in this video. Like he's surrounded by yes men.
Yeah, like I love Dave Filoni. Like he's expanding George's lore. But he is taking some of it a little too far fetched.
I'm just gonna leave that up here. Seriously, we're not talking about you, Joey. So it's it was because of the popularity. I feel George got too big for his britches. You know, he needed, like with Star Wars. Have you seen the cut of Star Wars where it's Luke in the sand speeder, and it's got the thing on the side, the projection, and it just like that movie Star Wars was made in the editing. Like there were people on that set that told George Lucas, George, what the fuck are you doing? And that's where, yes, he had a good idea. He had a good idea. He had all these, these effects and, all the special effects. That was brand new technology at the time. ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, was actually George Lucas's company, and it was founded during Star Wars. So all that brand new technology was made because of Star Wars.
Creator. He's helped evolve him. As much as I don't like James Cameron, he's another one who helps to evolve the technology and all that other stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I find the Avatar series boring.
Yeah, basically Avatar
visually look great, story is meh, and I think that's what brings it down, because it's like he's trying to do too much. Like, yo, you gave us Titanic, you won your Oscars, you did your shit, you gave us Terminator 2.
Aliens.
I never really watched the Alien franchise, so I'm not.
Ooh, see, I love the Alien franchise. Love it. Even though Alien Romulus, like everybody fucking panned it, everybody hated it, and I could absolutely see why.
Is that the newest one?
That's the newest one, yeah.
I don't know why they hate it. I mean, you fucking got the face huggers fucking your mouth.
Bro, like all the critics hated that. I thought that movie was entertaining. I was thoroughly. Is it a good movie? I was entertained by Alien Romulus. I was absolutely
the director's coming back to do the sequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the sequel starts filming here soon.
Oh,
and a little movie thing here. Those expecting the Legend of Zelda movie, it got pushed a year. Live action.
Bro, do you know how long I've been waiting for my fucking ringtone is Navi. This bitch's voice in the back of my truck is Navi, I have loved The Legend of Zelda since the gold NES cartridge. Like Legend of Zelda is
Hey, Pineapple, I think the whole Tukey movies thing is to watch shitty movies to make fun of it, right? I believe that's the concept.
That's yeah. It's to watch horrible movies. It's not to watch good movies. It's to
Yeah.
watch movies and goof on them.
Hmm. I think the
That's
only good movie he watched was Transformers, the animated one. You can never goose on that movie.
yeah, yeah.
But
And I like 2K. I like I like movies. I am a movie buff. I'm a movie nerd. I'm a movie snob, and I like all kinds of movies.
I'm starting to get back into my movie bag. I'm
You
starting
need
to
to
get
wa-
back. I
I
may
won't
not go
believe you.
to the theaters.
I won't
Bro.
believe you till you watch Companion. I won't believe you till you watch Companion. I won't believe you till you watch Companion.
Oh, you and this fucking companion, bro. Just the name alone doesn't make me want to watch a companion. Ugh.
Dude, it is so good. It is so good.
All right, I'll make you a deal. You watch The Accountants, and I'll watch Companion.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Absolutely. Deal. Done deal. Done deal.
I'll fucking go into my Plex and go fucking watch The Companion. Oh, fuck.
But I digress. Let's get back to this.
If I forget to say action or cut, just step in and say action and cut.
He controls every aspect of the movie. He probably got rid of those people that questioned him creatively a long time ago. I also think that everyone just assumed that a Star Wars prequel would be an instant hit, regardless of what the plot was.
Exactly.
Really,
Money-wise, it
how
was.
hard could it be to screw up? It's like screwing up mashed potatoes. You boil the water and pour the packet. Number 1, the characters. The biggest and most glaring problem with the Phantom Menace is the characters. This is like the
Why?
most obvious part of movie making, but I guess I gotta explain it when talking about this turd. Let's start at movie making 101, shall we? You see, in
Bro,
most movies, the audience
Ahmed Best, he took a fucking beating for years. Like, you're the worst part of fucking movies and all this and that. Like, yo, he's
Just wait.
doing
wait.
what he had to do.
Just wait.
Character to connect with. Typically, this character is something called a protagonist. When you're in a weird movie with like aliens and monsters and weirdos, the audience really needs someone who's like a normal person like them to guide them through the story. Now, this of course doesn't apply to every movie.
Now, really quick, Mike Stoklasa, the voice of Mr. Plinkett here, he is a film student. He went to I don't know what college he went to, but like he studied film. So I did not go to college for that. I went to college to be a teacher. I absolutely should have taken some film courses.
Bro, are you a Stuttering John level teacher?
No, I was actually going to be a history teacher.
Oh, because you were following your father's footsteps.
Both my parents are teachers. Both my parents are teachers.
Oh, God. That must have been horrible growing up in.
Kind of.
At least I can sit there and say, hey, my stepfather's a truck driver. I chose to not go down that path, even though now I kind of regret it. Bro, because shit, the money you could make being a truck driver now?
Yeah.
You got paid well in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Just looking now, there's this fucking truck driver shortage, so you can get paid even better.
Right.
Oh, man.
But it works best in the sci-fi, superhero, action, and fantasy genres. I picked a few examples to illustrate this point. Marty McFly, John McClane, Billy Peltzer, Sarah Connor, Neo,
Billy Peltzer?
Charlie Buck,
From
Peter Parker,
Gremlins.
Cliff
Okay.
Secord, Johnny Rico, Rocky Balboa, and Kevin Bacon. So in addition to being like an
Tremors.
everyday kind of schlub, usually the protagonist is someone that's down on their luck.
No, that ain't. Who was that kid from?
Lives,
Willy Wonka.
Okay,
everything
he
just
looked
doesn't
familiar.
always go perfectly for them.
Either you choose to be at your desk on time from this day forward, or you choose to find yourself another job.
Matrix?
Well, maybe it's time to get a real job.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Eventually they'll be confronted with some kind of obstacle or struggle that they gotta deal with.
See, this part is basically
Starship Troopers.
This part is basically just explaining, like, in film school, what a protagonist is, what, what,
Oh.
yeah, it's explaining, how the, how, like you said, the main character of a movie, the protagonist, how the protagonist has to be like an everyday, like he says, an everyday schlub, someone that the audience can relate to, so that the audience can travel with the protagonist. I almost said protagonist. So that the audience can travel with the protagonist through the events of the movie. We see the movie through the eyes of the protagonist. We basically are next to the protagonist in a movie. And what he's explaining is, should all, are all movies going to be like this? No. But in movies that are sci-fi, action, adventure, fantasy, that it's better to have a protagonist like that the audience can relate to on that level, so that they can explain the movie a little bit better.
See, then if that's the case, he should have never named these movies 4, 5, and 6 to come back to give us a political.
He gets into that. Into that. See, you're coming to the dark side.
But it's just like knowing what you're watching.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
He gave us, like, okay, you gave us those, then you come back. Like, I seen all of it, so I see how it all fleshed out between Episode 1, Andor, Attack of the Clones, Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan. Like, I've watched all that, so it really fleshes out the story, but it gives it to you in such weird little chunks that you're looking at it like, yo, okay, that explains that, this, and this, but then you have these, you're retconning the lore bullshit when he fucked this up for himself.
Right. Now, these reviews, I want to say, man.
Good morning, Stephen.
Yeah, good morning, Stephen Bravo. Thanks for joining us.
Now we could get into some Dragon Ball Z, bro. We could have fun with that.
Oh, we can do that if you want to. I mean, if you want to have a subject, we can totally do that. Like, we can switch off like that. Absolutely. I'm so down with that. I am so down to nerd out with you, bro. Like,
so you do Dragon Ball?
I enjoyed Dragon Ball. I liked Dragon Ball Z. I did follow the Frieza saga. I did follow the Majin Buu saga, and
GT sucked.
I never watched GT. Never watched GT. Never watched.
GT
yeah,
was horrible.
I only watched Dragon Ball Z. So,
man, so you can't even get into the Dragon Ball Super side of, like, the Tournament of Power and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, the Cell saga, the Majin Buu saga, and the Frieza saga. Those are the only 3 Dragon Ball Z things. The Dragon Ball, and I did play the Dragon Ball Nintendo game.
Oh, bro,
on the NES.
Okay, I didn't touch any of that shit there. I got into Dragon Ball because of my my middle brother. Like, he's younger than me, but it was him. I got into Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, fucking
You know how I know you're gay?
Ronin Warriors. Well, because we said Sailor Moon. Hey, a lot of people in other chat that I'm in, they watched all that shit.
Yeah. Sailor Moon was pretty good. Well, let's get back to
Let's focus on this, but
yeah, let's
don't
get
worry,
back to
Bo.
this.
Now that I know Cupcake we'll do some Dragon Ball shit Z too.
Yeah, we'll make a nerd show. We'll figure it out.
You know, all we're missing is super tips.
Right.
We like them. We hope they succeed.
Cowboy Bebop.
The drama in the film.
I did like Cowboy
Bebop. Us
Bebop.
rooting for them against opposition.
The Rocketeer. I didn't watch that shit.
Go get him, kid.
Eventually, our will find themselves in the lowest point where it seems like all is lost. But eventually, they'll pull through and conquer whatever force opposes them.
You're a terminated fucker.
It's satisfying when our hero gets ahead from where they started off at. They make like a change. This is
Oh, I
called an
hated those
arc.
movies.
Often, too, they'll get the girl in the end as icing on the cake.
That is true. Always.
Now, I need to explain that I don't think that all movies should be the same or conform to the same kind of structure, but it works well in certain kind of movies. So unless they're the Coen brothers,
Yeah, now he's going through just really obscure directors of like the kind of movies that I enjoy.
David Lynch, Paul Thomas Anderson, Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock, Lars von Trier, David Cronenberg, Gus Van Sant, Quentin Tarantino, John Waters, Wes Anderson, Sam Peckinpah, Terry Gilliam, Martin Scorsese, Werner Herzog, or Jim Jarmusch. You really shouldn't stray away too far from this kind of formula, especially if you're making a movie that's aimed at children that has a cartoon rabbit in it that steps in the poopy. This is all, of course, completely applicable to the original Star Wars film and the character of Luke Skywalker.
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
This was accomplished even without all the wonders of modern CGI. Now, with all you've just learned in this video that I've made for educational purposes, I want you to tell me who the main
All right, this is a quiz right here.
Fucking Gundam, whatever the
character
fuck.
of the Phantom Menace.
Who was the main character of the Phantom Menace?
I can tell you it's not the Jedi. They were just on some kind of boring mission that they didn't really care about.
Maybe
Plus,
the
they're
Chancellor?
fucking boring themselves.
What happens to one of you will affect the other. You must understand this.
Wasn't Queen Amidala, because she was some foreign
Keira
queen.
Knightley?
The movie was certainly
Right.
not really about specifically either. You might be thinking that it's Anakin, because he was
But it's
like
not.
a slave and saved the day at the end by accidentally blowing up the starship. But the audience doesn't meet Anakin until 45 minutes into the movie. And then the
So,
things
yeah,
that
it
are
is the
happening
Chancellor.
around him are pretty much out of his control or
Possibly.
understanding. If a protagonist has no concept of what's going on or what's at stake, then there's no real tension or drama. Without that, there's no story. So the conclusion is that there isn't one. Before the movie opened, I was really excited to hear that Scottish actor Ewan MacDonald was going to be playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought that was a great choice, and he'd be perfect as the lead of this movie. But he wasn't really. He just sat on the ship and complained a lot.
The Queen's wardrobe, maybe, but
I like the
enough
background
in
music he's using.
Not in the amount you're
Yeah.
talking about.
So you may like the characters, you know, if you're stupid. But let's ask some real people about the Star Wars characters and see what they say.
Okay, full disclosure. These are not real people. The guy in the top with the baseball cap, that's Rich Evans. He is on his show Red Letter Media. You know, he's on the, you know, he's part of the show. The guy next to him, that's Jay Bauman. He's part of the Red Letter Media crew. The guy under Jay, that's Jack Packard. He's also part of the, you know, part of the Red Letter Media crew. They've got other shows, and all these three guys are part of his cast. But again, this review was made 15 years ago, so this was well before they had. This was just on a website. You know, it wasn't even on YouTube at the time. It may have been on YouTube, but I'm not really sure. This broad, I don't know who she is. Probably somebody's girlfriend. But just full disclosure on who these guys are. They're not, you know, they're not just random people. But this is
Good to know.
very, yeah. I'm totally letting you know that so you don't, you know. But yeah, the question he asks though, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to want your answers before they give theirs.
I posed this simple challenge to them. Describe the following Star Wars character without saying what they looked like, what kind of costume they wore, or what their profession or role in the movie was. Describe this character to your friends like they ain't never seen Star Wars.
Okay, you got it?
Ooh.
He's going to give a character. You can't say their occupation. You know, it's you know, explain this character
Without
to a
saying too
person
much?
without saying too much, like the person has never seen Star Wars.
Oh, that's going to be challenging.
So we'll start it off.
The more descriptive they could get, the stronger the character, eh? Han Solo.
All right, describe Han Solo.
Fuck me. That's kind of tricky.
What kind of person was he?
An asshole.
Okay. What else?
And that's even before seeing him in the original trilogy. Because if you watch the Han Solo movie, he was an asshole then.
We're only talking about the as of at the time of this review.
There was no
only,
Han Solo. There was no
correct.
Solo
It was just the 6 movies.
Oh, he's definitely an asshole and a fucking he felt like he was God's gift to women.
Okay.
What's the
All
next?
right, that's good. That's good. Now check this out.
He's a rogue. He's very arrogant, but charming.
Yeah.
Rogue.
You said that.
Roguish, if you will.
Han Solo is totally dashing.
Now she's saying that from a broad's point of view, of course.
Wannabe dashing. He fancies himself a playboy. So,
Like you said, a playboy, ladies' man.
Like he's a smarmy, cocksure, womanizer.
You said that.
Scoundrel. He is pig-headed.
Completely sexy. In like a bad boy sort of way, where like he's gonna ride the line.
He's got a bit of a dark streak to him with shooting Greedo in the bar, but also deep down has the thief with the heart of gold. That's his character, really.
The thief with the heart of gold, absolutely. Because at the very end of the movie, what does he do? He comes back. He's like, "Listen, I got my money. I got to go pay this bounty hunter. I'm out." But what does he do? At the very, very end, he's like, "All right, fuck it." He turns his fucking big rig around, like, "All right, let's get this shit taken care of."
But see, here's a little fun fact. You see how the rebels start to get money in Andor. How they orchestrate heists to steal from the Empire's stash.
Yeah, I've got to watch Andor. I know you recommended it. So the next character they do is obviously Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's hard to fucking break him down.
Explain Qui-Gon Jinn's character.
He's a Jedi, but he's more of a gray Jedi. Like a
Jedi that's explaining his job.
Yeah, that's what he's a hard person to. I mean, I don't know. I can't give you one on this one.
Oh, so maybe he's not that good of a character. Maybe
well,
that. Well,
see, you can't.
Let's continue. Let's continue.
He is stoic.
I don't remember that character.
Okay, is Liam Neeson with the beard?
Oh, yes.
Well, he has a beard. Qui-Gon Jinn, and he was.
God damn! Hey, at least I don't feel alone.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Stern?
C-3PO.
All right, explain C-3PO.
I don't want to. C-3PO was annoying. He's just annoying. Period.
Keep going. He's annoying.
Oh my god, he's annoying. He's fucking a know-it-all in a sense because of like I can speak 2,565 languages and all this other
6 million forms of communication.
Fucking A, like, oh god.
Thank you, Jim. Yes, Lou and I will be making butt love later after this review.
No, we won't, but sure. Like 3PO was just always the annoying fucking robot.
Okay.
His character is is kind of the bumbling sidekick. Afraid, scaredy cat. He's timid.
C-3PO is.
Yes, he does, Jim.
Anal retentive.
Is prissy. Well, C-3PO is prissy. He's used a lot as comic relief. He's the comic.
Is he really comic relief?
For sure he is.
Effeminate.
Queen Amidala.
All right, I'm pausing this here. What does C-3PO does terrible things to that little? Okay, now explain Queen Amidala.
loves her people. She's another annoying character in a sense. Like, I didn't care for her character neither, but I understood why she was there. She was easily manipulated without even knowing it.
Was she though?
She was.
No, I mean, she wasn't easily manipulated. They wanted her to sign "I want that treaty signed," and she didn't do it.
No. If you really think about it, he didn't want the treaty signed.
Well, they get into that. I mean, obviously, that's not
knowing what we watched, like his orchestration of how he played this all out.
Hindsight is absolutely 20/20 on this.
Yeah,
but let's continue.
She was just there.
That is going to be fucking impossible because
She was just there.
A character.
All right, Rich Evans just goes, "That's going to be fucking impossible because she doesn't have a character."
She is she's Natalie Portman.
Yeah, like just kind of.
Well, I can't say she's a queen. I was gonna say she's a queen.
Normal, I guess. Just kind of normal.
Makeup would be a description. I was gonna describe the makeup.
Describe Queen Amidala's character. Monotone.
She
looks a lot like Keira Knightley.
I can't answer that, you know it.
Wow.
She is... This is funny, by the way. I get it.
Continued in part 2. Number 2.
Okay. So I'm glad you answered the way you did, because it was exactly what he was trying to explain. It was perfect. It was perfect. I believe this is going to be a successful little three set series of streams we're going to do with this with these reviews here. But yeah, that was that was it. That was perfect. So yeah, the characters in the Phantom Menace were not as fleshed out as, and he goes into it. This was the Phantom. I mean, the prequel movies were just basically George Lucas trying to see what he could do with his computers now that he had the technology to do what he did. This all started with the special editions of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
I like some of the new additions he did for it, but like he should have just never touched them. He should have just left them alone. Like, don't. It reminds me of fucking Kanye West,
right?
And all his tinkering with his music after he releases it. Like, we're fucked.
There's a rumor that's been told that he did that so that he could I mean, he wanted to, like with the Mos Eisley Cantina, Mos Eisley Spaceport, he wanted it to be a bustling town like it was in in the special edition. I get that, because in the original the original theatrical release, it was just a couple of sets, it wasn't as it looked
the
like
money wasn't there when he made the movie, and now that he has the money, he could go back and add these little things. But it's like, you're fucking with your work, and you're like, yes, you may be improving, but you're also ruining it at the same time.
Yeah, there's a rumor that's being told, not being told, but the rumor is, excuse me, that he did that so that he could release the 3 original movies on home video, and because he had during Temple of Doom, he got divorced, and his wife, it was one of the editors of the original trilogy, and he re-released these and re-edited them so that he wouldn't have to pay his ex-wife royalties on the original trilogy. That's why you can't get the original trilogies anymore. because he didn't want his wife, his ex-wife, to get any of the royalties of it.
I ain't mad at him then.
Right?
I ain't mad. Good
I
morning,
get every
Andy.
bit of that. All right, so now we're getting into the story.
The story. The second biggest problem with The Phantom Menace is the whole story and the way it was told. It's almost mind-boggling how complex the awfulness is. From the very start of this movie, I could tell something was really wrong, just by the way it started. It opens with some boring pilot asking for permission to land on a ship that looks like a half-eaten donut with a donut hole in the middle. What the fuck is that? Then two cloaked figures walk into a room in a completely flat angle. They sit down in a conference room, drink tea, and wait to talk about a trade dispute with something that looks like my ex-wife. While they eventually do get to the ball-numbing, mindless action that the fanboys crave,
That's you.
I found myself utterly bored already. Compare this fecal matter to the opening of the original Star Wars. You see, a guy named William Shakespeare once said, "Brevity is the soul of wit." This just means don't waste my time. You keep it nice and simple. I said, stop wasting my time. Stop it. Without saying one word of awkward, boring political dialogue that goes on for 10 minutes, we know everything we need to know just by the visuals. Rebels, Empire. We get a sense of how small and ill-equipped the rebels are and how large...
All right, I'm going to pause this just for a second, just so we can, talk
That
about it a
scene
little
has
bit.
so much more context now, knowing that you watch Rogue One with the way
Bitch, I just saw you leave. Bitch, I just saw you leave. We already been over this. Like, I hate that part. Like, I hated Rogue One. I hated Rogue One. It was visually cool, but
like I said, once you watch Andor, it just fills in. Because once you watch Andor, you watch Rogue One, it's just like, oh god, this is just a beautifully done story.
Yeah, I get that, but you shouldn't have to watch, to understand this, you need to watch this.
Well, no, at the time you really didn't need to watch this to understand this. This is the problem that I feel Star Wars handcuffed themselves with, in a sense. You want to keep telling these stories about Luke and the Skywalkers and all this and that when, it's a vast universe. Expand it. Tell something new where, hey, if it doesn't hit, you can still build upon it with something else.
Yeah.
Because you're not handcuffed to this fucking bullshit of Rogue One literally having to set up this scene in A New Hope.
Yeah, that was...
Rogue One has to end setting this up.
Right.
And that's why someone like you hates it.
Yeah.
Because they are forced to set this fucking scene up. Like, if you just tell a story, okay, a group of rebels did this, this, and this, okay, fine, no problem. Just leave it open-ended and boom, this happens.
Right.
Not you stop. Oh, you see Darth Vader hanging out the fucking thing, turn off his lightsaber, watch the ship take off, and okay, you find out the reason they're tracked is because they have a fucking hyperdrive leak.
Yeah. The Darth Vader should never have been in Rogue One. He should never have been in it. Not at all.
That's right, Deadpool. We're fucking nerds.
Yes. Yes, we are. MOON. That spells nerds.
This is the moment we get to fucking nerd out and not worry about shit.
No shit. Dude, we've been... like we said before, we've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. So, yes, let us nerd out, Deadpool, but thank you for showing up. Appreciate it, brother. Nice having you here.
And powerful the Empire is. The low angle implies dominance, and the length of the Star Destroyer implies the long reach of the Empire. This shot says everything we need to know without saying one word. In fact, this is
that's a good explanation of that. I never thought of it that way.
Right.
I never looked at it like that. It's just, cool opening. When you're
right.
like, oh, shit is cool. Ooh.
that George Lucas had nothing to do with it and probably fought against putting it in the movie. So this comparison of openings.
Oh, here, let me play that back a little bit because that's actually pretty funny what he says.
This shot says everything we need to know without saying one word. In fact, this is so genius, I have a feeling that George Lucas had nothing to do with it and probably fought against putting it in the movie. So this comparison of openings is a small example of the overall styles of both films. The original trilogy was a modern-day homage to the classic adventure serials of the past, the kind I used to watch when I was in my 40s. Good versus evil, the classic hero on a journey, the adventurous rogue, a damsel in distress, the wise old sage, gay robots, and an epic quest of discovery.
Oh shit, gay robot. I never thought of it that way.
I'm having more fun. I'm having more fun watching your reactions to this.
Oh shit.
No movies.
Well, you know what? I mean, if 3PO's the gay robot, then Jar Jar Binks is that annoying kid in the playground.
Right.
Much crap into each shot as possible.
It's so dense. Every single image has so many things going on.
This is part
Nice
of the
one,
reason
Deadpool.
why I find the special edition so fucking offensive. Because you're into what's happening in the movie, and they keep shoving more shit on the screen to distract you. It reminds me of a child waving his arms in the background for attention. Doesn't Lucas realize that cluttering the frame up with shit is not what makes Star Wars good?
It's so dense. Every single image has so many things going on.
Fuck you, Rick Berman. You ruined this too.
Rick Berman is the shit.
If you got to load, I understand.
I do.
Hey, we'll just pick this up. This is fun, dude. We can do this again like.
All right, yeah, I gotta go.
Another day.
Of course, I gotta go. All right, so yeah, we'll pick this up. We're on
the second part, so we're
on the second part. 3 minutes in. All right, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. This was really fun. We'll do a lot more of these. All right, catch you later. I gotta go.
This is fun.
All right, cool. All right, later, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Reviews and stories all the fun.